Gold is sitting at about $4,080 an ounce. We're not talking about a little bounce off the lows anymore. This is a full-blown gold bull move. New highs, new headlines, and suddenly everybody's a gold expert again. But here's the problem. Most mining stocks have already ripped. Valuations are stretched. Everyone is chasing the same names. And the big liquid miners are crowded trades. By the time retail piles in, the easy money is usually gone. Meanwhile, there are three proven gold producers the market is basically ignoring right now. They're down 8 to 10% just this month while gold keeps climbing. They're trading at just 3.5 to 4.2 times EV to EBITDA, with what I see as a 25 to 45% upside from here if gold simply holds these levels. And these are not lottery ticket junior explorers. These are real businesses, profitable even at $1,800 gold, low-cost operations, strong balance sheets, millions of ounces in reserves, and they're being overlooked. Today, I'm breaking down the three gold stocks I'm buying right now in Q4 2025, why they absolutely scream contrarian, and my exact price targets. This is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor, but I am putting my own money into all three, and I'll show you exactly why. If you like no hype, data-driven content on gold, silver, and miners, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. I am Turbo, and this is Turbo Stacking, where we stack with purpose. Let's roll. Before I throw tickers at you, I want to show you the framework behind these picks. 9 filters that knock out about 95% of the whole sector. Remember, I am looking for the perfect contrarian plays. My investment style mirrors the legendary Rick Rule of rule investment strategy. Filter number 1, recent weakness while gold is strong. I want stocks that are down while gold is up. If the metal is making new highs and the stock is lagging, that can mean washed out sentiment or an overreaction to a headline. That's where you can find mispricing. Filter 2, EV to EBITDA under 5 times. This is a cyclical, high-risk business. I don't want to pay 8, 9, 10 times cash flow for a miner. Under 5 times gives me margin of safety if gold pulls back and leverage if the bull continues. Filter 3, meaningful but not crazy short interest. 0 shorts means no one cares. 30% short means there might be a serious problem. I'm looking for that 3 to 7% zone. Enough fuel for a squeeze, not so much that the stock is radioactive. Filter number 4, free cash flow, positive at $1,800 gold. I don't want stories that only work if gold never drops below $2,200. If they can produce free cash flow at $1,800, that's a real business. $4,000 gold is then pure upside. Filter number 5, all-in sustaining costs under $1,500 per ounce. Lower AISC means better margins, more room for error if costs spike, and more flexibility when the cycle turns. Filter number 6, at least 5+ million ounces of reserves. I want scale. Tiny deposits can move big in percentage terms, but they're fragile. Bigger reserve bases mean longer mine life and more stability. Filter number 7, proven management. Has this team actually built and operated mines? Have they created shareholder value before? In mining, great rock plus bad management can still lose. Filter number 8, manageable jurisdiction risk. I'm not only buying Canada and Nevada, but I want balance. I don't want 100% of my exposure in a single unstable country. Filter number 9, real growth catalysts in 2025 through 2026. I'm looking for new mines ramping up, restarts, expansions, levers the company controls, not just, we hope, gold moons. Run the sector through these 9 filters, and only 3 names survive. Let's start with number 3 and work up to my top pick. Fortuna Mining, ticker FSM. As of filming this, Fortuna is trading around $8.51, down about 8% this month, even as gold has been ripping higher. My base case target is $10.50, which is roughly 25% upside from here if the market just re-rates this back to a normal multiple. Short interest is about 6.8%, the highest of the three names today, which gives you real short squeeze potential if sentiment flips. On valuation, Fortuna is around 4.2 EV to EBITDA, cheap for a multi-mine producer with real growth lined up. Balance sheet wise, net debt is tiny. Liquidity is in the ballpark of $220 million, and they have about 7.5 million ounces of reserves. The piece I really like is a strategic pivot. Fortuna is moving away from being a silver-heavy producer and pivoting hard into gold. They're shedding lower-margin silver assets and leaning into higher-margin gold, which should improve the overall profile over time. Management is a plus. Co-founder and CEO George Ganoza has been there since day one, building Fortuna from essentially nothing into about a $1.5 billion company. He's operated through bull and bear cycles and has actually grown real production, not just PowerPoint slides. Now, the main risk, jurisdiction. Fortuna has exposure to West Africa. That always introduces risk. Politics, permits, taxes, local issues, and that's a big reason the stock is discounted. The way I look at it, they've been operating there for years. This isn't a fresh management team walking into a brand new country. There's execution risk, but there's also real operating track record. So how do I use Fortuna? For me, this is a tactical play. Higher beta, some jurisdiction hairs on it, but with a cheap valuation, real reserves and production, a pivot toward gold, proven management, and that 6.8% short interest that can add fuel. Not my only miner, but as the more aggressive slice of gold miner basket, I like it. Number 2, B2 Gold, ticker BTG. Right now, BTG is trading around $3.97 a share and is actually down about 10% recently. The worst short-term performance of the three, even though gold is strong. My target here is $5.96, which is around 45% upside from these levels, plus roughly a 3.4% dividend yield while you wait. EV to EBITDA is about 4 times, which is, I think, too cheap for the assets they own. Short interest is a manageable 3.5%. A healthy skepticism, not panic. They've got about $308 million in cash and more than $200 million in operating cash flow just in the last quarter alone. That is serious firepower to fund growth and navigate bumps without constant dilution. Reserves sit around 6.8 million ounces, and a lot of those ounces are in Tier 1 or near Tier 1 assets. The flagship is the Fekola mine, and they have very strong operations in Namibia and the Philippines. Together, those safer jurisdictions make up about 60% of production. The remaining 40% is in Mali, and that's where the discount comes from. The market hates uncertainty, and Mali has had its fair share of political noise. So the whole company gets painted with that brush. My view is a lot of that Mali risk is already priced in. When I look at the multiple, the cash flow, and the reserve base, it feels like investors are valuing B2 Gold as if all Mali, as if it's all. My view, a lot of that Mali risk is already priced in. When I look at the multiple, the cash flow, and the reserve base, it feels like investors are valuing B2 Gold as if it's all Mali, when in reality, most of the production sits in safer places. Management is another big checkmark. CEO Clive Johnson previously sold Bema Gold to Kinross for about $3.5 billion. That's a real proven builder. Now the catalysts. This is where BTG gets interesting. Goose Project in Canada is ramping up to roughly 300,000 ounces per year by 2026. That's transformational growth in a relatively safe jurisdiction. And Gramalote in Colombia, targeting first production around Q1 2026, layering even more growth on top. So with B2 Gold, you're getting the highest upside on this list based on my targets. A dividend, a cheap valuation, a CEO who's already built and sold a major gold company, and 2 big growth projects coming online in 2025 and 2026. The trade-off is simple. You have to be comfortable with some moly risk. As long as that stays about 40% of production and not 100%, I'm okay with it at these prices. And my number one pick, the stock I see as the best risk-reward way to play the gold rally, is SSR Mining, ticker SSRM. As I'm recording this, SSRM is trading around $21.40, down about 9% on a temporary delay at the Copler mine in Turkey. My target is $28, which is about 38% upside from here. On valuation, SSR is the cheapest of the three at roughly 3.5 times EV to EBITDA. Short interest is about 4.5%, enough to help a move if sentiment turns. Balance sheet. This thing is a fortress, essentially debt-free with over $900 million in liquidity. In mining, that's rare. Reserves are around 9.5 million ounces, and here's the key. Roughly 60% of production is in Canada and the USA. Some of that reserves are around 9.5 million ounces, and here's the key. Roughly 60% of production is in Canada and the USA, some of the safest mining jurisdictions on the planet. The remaining 40% is in Turkey. Turkey always grabs headlines, but in practice, it's been a workable jurisdiction for SSR for a long time. The current Copler delay is annoying, but from what I see, it looks temporary, not existential. Management is strong. Rodney Antal led the merger that created over $1 billion in shareholder value and previously ran big operations for Rio Tinto. He has serious, large-scale mining experience. Catalysts. Copler's restart in Turkey expected around Q1 2026, adding roughly 150,000 ounces per year once it's back online. And around 20% growth expected from Puna operations in Argentina, adding more diversified cash flow. Put that together: valuation, balance sheet, jurisdiction mix, and catalysts. And SSR Mining is, in my view, the lowest risk, deepest value way to get leveraged upside to a gold bull. This is the one I'm most comfortable sizing up because even if gold corrects, you got a strong balance sheet, diversified, mostly safe jurisdiction assets, and a management team that's already created value. Quick ranking recap. Number 1, SSR Mining, SSRM. Safest profile, fortress balance sheet, deepest discount, clear growth from Copler restarting and Puna expanding. Number 2, B2 Gold, BTG. Highest upside plus a dividend with Goose and Gramalote as big growth drivers, balanced against moly risk. Number 3, Fortuna, FSM, short squeeze tactical play with a pivot toward gold and some West Africa jurisdiction risk. I'm buying all three. For me, SSRM is the core lower risk position. BTG is the higher upside growth plus income play, and FSM is the more tactical higher beta piece of the puzzle. Now, I need to hammer this home. Mining stocks are not physical gold. When you hold physical gold, you're holding a hard asset. No management risk, no production worries, no quarterly earnings calls. It just sits there as long-term financial insurance. Mining stocks are leveraged businesses. If gold drops 10%, these names can easily drop 20 to 30% or more. That's normal for the sector. There's operational risk. Mines can have accidents. Grades can disappoint. Energy and labor costs can spike. And projects can be delayed or over budget. There's also jurisdiction risk. Governments can change taxes and royalties, tighten permitting, or just change the rules. That's especially relevant for B2 Gold's moly exposure and Fortuna's West Africa footprint. And there's management and capital allocation risk. Even good teams can overpay for acquisitions, raise equity at the wrong time, or misexecute. So treat these positions as high-risk, high-beta pieces of a larger portfolio, not as your emergency fund, rent money, and core long-term savings. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. I'm sharing what I'm doing with my own money and how I think about risk. Always do your own homework, read the presentations and quarterly reports, and never invest money you can't afford to lose. If you believe gold has legs into 2026 and you want leveraged contrarian exposure, not just the crowded, over-owned names, these three are the best setups I see right now. But now I want to hear from you. Are you adding any gold miners before year end, or are you sticking strictly with bullion and physical metal? Drop your watch list and your favorite gold ticker in the comments. I read as many as I can, and it also helps me see what the community is actually buying. In the description, I've linked the latest presentations and quarterly reports to Fortuna, B2 Gold, and SSR Mining so you can dig into the numbers yourself. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and if you haven't already, share this with another stacker who's been asking about gold miners. And if you want to see how I'm playing the other side of this with silver, click the video on your screen where I break down the 3 silver stocks I'm buying right now, or if you'd rather stick to metal in your hand, check out my stacking strategy video right next to it. Stack smart, invest wisely, as you were, stack with purpose, turbo out.